Hey there and welcome. If you're getting ready for your IGCSE Economics exam, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we are going to break down the entire assessment piece by piece to give you a really clear and powerful blueprint for success. So, let's get started.
You're studying economics, which is awesome because you want to understand how the world really ticks, right? The flow of money, why businesses make the choices they do, and what governments are thinking with their policies. It's a huge, fascinating subject.
But here's the big question, isn't it? It's one thing to learn all this cool stuff, but knowing exactly how Cambridge is going to test you, well, that's the key to turning all your hard work into a grade you can be proud of. And that is exactly what we're going to focus on. All right, first things first, let's get a bird's eye view of the road ahead. We're going to look at the overall structure of your IGCSE Economics assessment. Okay, this is probably the most important slide. Your entire grade is based on 2 exams. You've got Paper 1, which is worth 30% of your total marks, and then you have Paper 2, which is the real heavyweight, coming in at a massive 70%. Knowing this split is absolutely the first step in building your study plan. So what's the deal with these 2 papers? Well, Paper 1 is a quick 1-hour multiple choice test. It's designed to see how much you know across the whole subject. Then you have Paper 2, which is a longer 2-hour exam with structured, written questions. This one is all about showing the depth of your understanding. Let's dive into Paper 1 first. Okay, let's put Paper 1 under the microscope. Understanding the little details here is going to be so important for building up your speed and confidence. You'll have exactly 1 hour on the clock. That's 60 minutes. And in that hour, you're trying to bag 40 marks. It works out to about 1 mark per question, so every single one counts just as much as the last. So, let's talk about what's actually in this paper. You're going to face 40 multiple-choice questions, and you have to answer every single one. The tricky part? They can pull questions from anywhere in the syllabus. That means you've got to have a really solid grasp of all the topics. There's nowhere to hide. But good news, you are allowed to use a calculator, so you don't have to worry about getting stuck on the math. And now for the main event, Paper 2. This is where a huge 70% of your final grade is decided, and believe me, it requires a totally different set of skills. For this one, you get a full 2 hours. That longer time tells you something important. You're expected to write detailed, well-thought-out answers. Yep, a massive 80 marks are on the table here. That's double the marking power of Paper 1, so how you do on this paper is absolutely critical.
So, how does it work? The paper is split into 2 sections. In Section A, there's one big question you have to answer. It's worth 20 marks, and it's usually based on some data or text they give you. Then you get to Section B, and here you get a choice. You have to pick 3 questions to answer from a list of 4, and each of those is also worth 20 marks.
So we've seen what's in the exams, but the really important question is, how are they actually marking you? Cambridge looks for 3 specific skills, which they call assessment objectives. Let's break them down.
The best way to think about this is like a pyramid. At the very bottom, the foundation, you have knowledge. Building on top of that is analysis. And right at the peak, the highest level skill is evaluation. To get those top grades, you really need to master all 3. First up, let's talk about AO1, knowledge and understanding. This is your foundation. Think of it as knowing the rule book of economics. Can you define scarcity? Can you explain what demand is? Can you state a key formula? That's the what of economics.
Next, we move up to AO2, analysis. Now, if knowledge is the rule book, analysis is understanding the strategy of the game. It's about using what you know to explain why something is happening. For instance, why does a change in interest rates affect how much people spend? Explaining that link, that's analysis.
And finally, at the very top, we have AO3, evaluation. This is where you become the expert commentator. It's about making a reasoned judgment. You weigh the pros and cons of a policy, you think about different points of view, and you come to a conclusion about which argument is stronger and why. This is where you really show you can think like an economist. Okay, you now know the structure of the papers, and you know the skills you need to show. Now let's put it all together. This is the blueprint that's going to shape your entire revision strategy.
Take a good look at this, because this table is everything. Notice how Paper 1 is a perfect 50-50 split between knowledge and analysis. And look at this, 0% for valuation. That tells you that for Paper 1, it's all about speed and accuracy. But then you look at Paper 2. This is where evaluation finally comes into play, making up 15% of the marks. And overall, analysis is the single most important skill at 47%. This table literally tells you what to focus on for each exam.
So, as you prepare, just keep this in mind. Getting this qualification isn't just about memorizing a bunch of facts. It's about learning to think like an economist, to apply your knowledge, analyze tricky situations, and evaluate the best way forward.
With this blueprint in your hands, the power is all yours. So what's it going to be? Are you going to start by locking down those definitions? Or maybe practice your data analysis skills? Or will you jump right in and start honing your evaluation of economic arguments? The choice you make today can absolutely define your success tomorrow.
Fundoo Tutor is a personalized learning platform that helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and engaging resources.